Welcome, gents. The strongest men are those who can stand alone and walk their own path. In a world that constantly pressures us to fit in, to chase trends, and to live by others' rules, the Sigma male is the one who steps away from it all. He doesn't follow the herd. Instead, he crafts a life built on his own terms, defined by self-reliance, discipline, and a deep sense of personal freedom. This lifestyle isn't about being a loner for the sake of it. It's about choosing solitude when needed to focus, reflect, and build something real. Whether it's rejecting the noise of social media, prioritizing mental clarity, or mastering his own emotions, the Sigma male understands that true strength comes from within, and from living a life that aligns with his deepest values, not the world's expectations. If you've ever felt out of place in a world obsessed with fitting in, you might find a kindred spirit in the Sigma male. His life is proof that you don't need to follow the crowd to achieve greatness. You simply need to have the courage to walk your own path and create a life that's uniquely yours. In this video, we'll explore the 11 core Sigma male lifestyles that define their success and resilience. These aren't just ideals. They're practical ways of living that can lead to deeper fulfillment, independence, and peace. So, if you're ready to stop living on autopilot and start taking control of your life, watch the video till the end. Number 1, mastery over mimicry. They don't copy the blueprint, they build their own. Sigma males are not interested in doing things the normal way just because everyone else does. That's not rebellion, it's efficiency. They've figured out something that most people overlook. Just because a system works for others doesn't mean it will work for them. Most people wake up, scroll through social media, hit the gym because some influencer said it's the key to success, go to a job they hate, and repeat that cycle until burnout hits. That's mimicry. That's trying to copy someone else's life, assuming it'll give you their results. Sigma males move differently. They observe, test, break, and rebuild. They don't read 10 productivity books to follow routines. They read to extract what fits their mind. If 4 a.m. works for someone else, but 11 p.m. is when their brain fires, they'll ignore the trend and own their time. They care about outcomes, not approval. Their routines can seem strange to outsiders. Working alone for hours, saying no to plans, vanishing for days. But what looks like chaos from the outside is often a calculated system of personal mastery on the inside. Here's the twist. This isn't easy. It takes self-awareness, courage, and a high tolerance for being misunderstood. But the reward? Pure alignment. When a Sigma man creates his own system, he's not just productive, he's unstoppable. Every hour is shaped for his energy, focus, and mission. No wasted motion, no fake hustle. So ask yourself, are you mimicking someone else's playbook, hoping it works for you? Or are you building your own system, even if no one understands it? If this hits home, lean in. Because this video doesn't just talk about the Sigma lifestyle, it shows you how to build it, live it, and sharpen it. Click play. Your blueprint starts here. Number 2, identity is a fortress, not a brand. They're not here to be liked, they're here to be solid. In today's world, everyone is busy crafting a brand, something polished, likable, and easy to digest. They shape how they want to be seen, post carefully filtered versions of themselves, and chase validation like it's currency. But here's the thing. When your identity depends on being liked, it's always at risk. Sigma males flip that script completely. They're not trying to be a brand, they're building a fortress, strong, private, untouchable, not flashy, not performative, just real. Their identity isn't up for negotiation, and it definitely isn't designed to please the crowd. It's built on truth, not trends. They don't care if people get them. That's not the goal. The goal is to be unshakable, so that when pressure hits, betrayal shows up, or chaos breaks out, they stay rooted, solid, calm, because their identity was never built on outside opinions in the first place. And here's what makes that so powerful. You can't manipulate a man who doesn't need your approval. You can't guilt, shame, or influence someone who's already done the deep work of knowing who they are and what they stand for. That's the Sigma edge. While others chase attention, they chase alignment. While others obsess over fitting in, they obsess over being real, even if it means standing alone. And in that solitude, they become dangerous, not in a reckless way, but in a way that's immune to control. So ask yourself, is your identity built for likes, or is it built to last? If you're tired of the noise, the pressure to perform, and the fear of being misunderstood, this video is your space. No masks, no fluff, just the real mindset of those who walk alone and don't flinch. Watch out and start building your fortress. Number 3, work is sacred, not social. You're not there to blend in, you're there to get things done. For Sigma males, work isn't a place for small talk, fake smiles, or trying to fit in. It's sacred territory, where focus, discipline, and results come before anything else. While most people treat the workplace like a social club, the Sigma walks in with one goal: execute, deliver, leave. This mindset can seem cold to some, but it's not about being rude or standoffish. It's about protecting mental energy. Socializing just to keep up appearances? That's a drain. Office gossip, pointless meetings, endless back and forth emails, that's noise. Sigma males filter it all out. Their attention is a weapon, and they only aim it at what actually matters. They know the truth most people avoid. Productivity thrives in silence. You don't need to be part of the group chat or the Friday lunch clique to be valuable. Your work speaks for itself, and when it doesn't, it's time to sharpen it until it does. The office isn't their comfort zone, it's a battlefield where they enter, stay locked in, and move with intention. They don't waste motion. They don't fake enthusiasm. They treat their output like a signature, clean, clear, effective. And when the work is done, they vanish. No lingering, no need to be seen. Why? Because respect is earned through performance, not popularity. If you're someone who's felt out of place in the social circus of the workplace, good. That discomfort might be your clarity. You're not cold, you're focused. And that focus, it's rare. So no, you don't need to watch a video to understand this. Just look around. The loudest people rarely get the most done. The quiet ones, they're the ones building empires while everyone else is talking. Protect your work like it's sacred, because it is. Number 4, deep learning, not trend surfing. The loudest minds chase trends, the sharpest minds go deep. In a world where everyone's chasing the next big thing, whether it's a viral topic, a flashy new skill, or the latest self-help fad, Sigma males move in the opposite direction. They're not chasing attention, they're chasing depth. While most people scroll and swipe through surface-level information to sound smart in conversation, Sigmas are quietly diving into unseen corners of knowledge, not to show off, not to impress, but to build power where others aren't even looking. They might study ancient philosophy, obscure tech systems, or forgotten strategies from decades ago because they know that the world rewards the prepared, not the popular. The average person wants shortcuts. Sigmas want clarity, mastery, and edge. That's what makes them dangerous in the best way. While others are learning what's trending, they're building knowledge that doesn't expire. It's slow, it's not glamorous, but it's deep-rooted, and that kind of learning gives them an unfair advantage when it matters most. They're not wasting time memorizing buzzwords or mimicking whatever's hot this week. They're stacking insights, patterns, and wisdom that's been battle-tested over time. And when they speak, they don't talk just to be heard. They speak from depth, not noise. Here's the twist. You won't see them post about it. You won't hear them brag. But when the moment calls for action, they move with a kind of quiet precision that leaves people wondering, how the hell does he know that? That's the reward of deep learning. Invisible power, silent leverage, the kind that can't be stolen, copied, or faked. So if you're tired of riding the trend wave and getting nowhere, step off. Go deep. Learn something nobody else is even thinking about. That's how you become 10 steps ahead without saying a word. Number 5, flirting with extremes. Comfort builds habits. Discomfort builds character. Sigma males have a strange relationship with extremes. While most people seek comfort, routine, and the easiest way forward, Sigmas deliberately lean into the uncomfortable. Not for attention, not for likes, but to push the edges of their own limits. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. They fast for days, not to drop weight, but to remind themselves who's in control, the body or the mind. They disappear for solo travel, not to find themselves, but to lose the noise and prove they can navigate life with no safety net, no backup. Just instinct and focus. You'll never see them brag about it. These extremes aren't about showing off, they're about testing the steel in their mind. Could you go 72 hours without food and still stay sharp? Could you delete every app, every notification and still feel grounded? Most people can't. Sigma males need to find out if they can. Because when you flirt with extremes, something changes in you. Your thoughts slow down, your instincts sharpen. You stop panicking at small problems because your system has already been through hell and didn't flinch. This kind of self-testing isn't trendy, it's raw. It's often lonely. But that's the point. It breaks down the fluff and shows you what's real. It humbles the ego, silences the distractions, and puts your discipline to the test. And once you've walked that edge, once you've denied comfort, isolated from noise, pushed through resistance, you don't come back the same. You come back stronger, quieter, and more dangerous in the best way. So if life feels too soft, too loud, too easy, it might be time to flirt with an extreme. Not to prove anything to the world, but to prove something to yourself. Because real strength doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in the fire you walk into willingly. Number 6, zero desire to impress, deep desire to execute. Talk less, build more, let results be your voice. Sigma males aren't in the game to win approval. They're not flashing luxury, bragging about goals, or selling an image. In fact, they'd rather you doubt them, because while you're watching the noisemakers, they're quietly stacking wins in the background. Where others crave attention, Sigmas crave execution. They get a thrill not from being seen, but from knowing something powerful is in motion that no one else knows about. Their energy isn't wasted on making things look successful. It's poured into actually making things happen. This mindset is what throws people off. You'll see them walk into a room, low-key, minimal talk, and assume they're average, but then, out of nowhere, they drop results. A business deal closed, a new skill mastered, a problem solved, and everyone around them is left speechless, wondering when it even happened. That's the power of building in silence. No pressure to impress, no audience to perform for, just pure, focused execution. Sigmas understand something most don't. Energy is limited, and when you spend it trying to look successful, you have less left to actually be successful. So while others chase attention, the Sigma disappears into the process. He obsesses over details. He works late with no audience. He studies in silence, trains in solitude, and comes back with something solid. Not to prove a point, but because that's just who he is. And when it's done, he reveals only what's necessary. No overexposure, no ego trip, just results that hit like a punch no one saw coming. If you've ever felt drained trying to impress people who don't even matter, stop. Go dark, go deep, and let your silence make them curious. Because when you execute without applause, the results speak louder than any performance ever could. Number 7, disdain for performative masculinity. Real strength doesn't need a spotlight, it needs discipline. The Sigma male has no interest in putting on a show. While the world celebrates loud, aggressive masculinity, the barking, chest-puffing, and ego-driven performances, he quietly steps to the side and watches it all with one clear thought. This is wasted energy. To the Sigma, masculinity isn't about volume. It's about control, precision, calm under pressure. You won't find him raising his voice to prove he's the alpha. You won't catch him flexing his muscles every chance he gets, or trying to dominate a room with fake confidence. That's not strength, it's insecurity with a mask on. If a Sigma male walks into conflict, he doesn't perform, he calculates, he observes, and if force is needed, it's not drawn out, it's silent, swift and final, done before anyone knew what happened. No drama, no attention-seeking, just efficiency. Why? Because real power doesn't broadcast itself. It doesn't need applause. Sigmas understand that the toughest men are often the quietest in the room because they've already made peace with their power. They don't need to prove it. They just need to wield it responsibly. That's why the Sigma often feels like an outsider in male-dominated environments obsessed with dominance games. He doesn't care to play. He's not trying to be the loudest or the toughest. He's focused on being the most capable, the most mentally composed, and the hardest to shake. And when others finally realize that the guy who never boasted is the one with the deepest skill, clearest thinking, and sharpest execution, it's always a shock. So if you've ever looked at all the noise around being a real man and felt disconnected, maybe you're not lacking masculinity. Maybe you're operating on a higher version of it. Precision over performance, control over chaos. That's the Sigma code. Number 8, they're the endgame of burnout. When you've survived the fire, the heat no longer bothers you. Sigmas aren't born from comfort. They're forged in the heat of emotional battles, often in places where the world seemed to turn against them. They didn't wake up one day deciding to walk a solitary, unorthodox path. No, their journey started from chaos, from betrayal, pain, and being pushed to the brink. Many Sigmas come from broken homes, narcissistic families, or toxic environments that tried to mold them into something they weren't. And rather than letting that break them, they turned it into fuel for a new kind of strength. They didn't choose this path for attention, sympathy, or recognition. They were shaped by survival. This is why Sigmas seem so unbothered by challenges that send others into spirals of stress and anxiety. They've already faced emotional hell. They've wrestled with betrayal, loss, and the suffocating weight of expectations and survived. Their resilience wasn't a gift. It was earned through relentless struggle. When everyone else is burned out, ready to crack under the pressure, Sigmas remain unshaken. They've already been through worse. They've rebuilt themselves from the ashes, and every challenge they face now feels like a minor test compared to the battles that built their foundation. This doesn't make them cold or indifferent. It makes them extremely self-reliant. They know what it means to carry the weight of the world alone, and it's not that they want to. It's that they've learned how to thrive even when everyone else around them is folding. If you ever feel like you're on the edge of burnout, consider the path of a Sigma. Rather than crumbling under pressure, they turn hardship into power. And if you can do the same, no matter how painful it may seem, you too can become the endgame of burnout, forged into something far more formidable than the world ever expected. Number 9. Minimalism by necessity, not trend. The more you own, the more it owns you. For the Sigma male, minimalism isn't a trendy lifestyle or an aesthetic choice. It's a way of life born out of purpose. While the world spends its time accumulating stuff, clothes, gadgets, trophies, or even experiences, Sigmas don't collect. They strip life down to what really matters. They don't fall for the hype around having the latest this or the biggest that. They know that things, whether they're material possessions or mental clutter, create distractions, and distractions slow them down. They move through life with a single goal: to be unencumbered. The less they own, the less they have to manage. The fewer attachments they form, the freer they are to pursue what they truly value: growth, focus, and execution. It's not about living out of a backpack or trying to be the minimalist guru of social media. It's about removing anything that isn't essential to their mission. That's why their homes are often sparse. Their schedules are simple. Their minds are uncluttered. They've realized that the more you accumulate, the more things pull your attention away from the real work that matters. And it's not just physical things. Sigmas don't carry around emotional baggage or unnecessary mental noise. They understand that mental clarity comes from a life lived with intention, not filled with distractions, possessions, or fleeting desires. So, if you ever feel weighed down by too many things, too many commitments, too much stuff, or too much noise, take a page from the Sigma's playbook. Strip it all down to what's necessary. You'll find that when you let go of the clutter, your focus sharpens and your path becomes clearer. True freedom lies in simplicity, and the less you own, the more you can truly own your life. Number 10. Freedom over belonging. The only thing worth more than anything is being your own person. For the Sigma male, freedom isn't just a luxury, it's the very thing that defines him. It's more valuable than any paycheck, more important than any romantic relationship, and far beyond any social status or approval. The world is filled with people who will chase after money, power, or affection, but Sigmas, they chase autonomy. They chase the ability to move, to think, and to exist without chains. This value of freedom runs so deep that if anything threatens it, the Sigma doesn't hesitate. A high-paying job that ties him down to a set schedule? Gone. A relationship that demands too much control or too many compromises? Burned to the ground. For the Sigma, no material gain or emotional connection is worth more than the peace of mind that comes with doing things on his own terms. The way they see it, belonging to a group, to an expectation, or to anyone's idea of who they should be, is a trap. It's the kind of cage that might feel comfortable at first, but it will slowly suffocate their soul. For them, the price of freedom is always worth paying. That's why you'll often see a Sigma walk away from situations that seem ideal to everyone else. It's not about being difficult or running from love. It's about not compromising their fundamental need for autonomy, no matter how tempting the situation may seem. If you've ever felt trapped by something or someone, whether it's work, a relationship, or society's expectations, consider the Sigma's perspective. The ability to walk away is freedom's true power. And when you value your autonomy above all else, you'll find that everything else becomes secondary to the peace and self-determination that comes with it. Freedom is priceless, and once you've tasted it, nothing else will ever compare. Number 11, no addiction to attention but mastery of impact. They don't crave the spotlight, they simply know when to command it. Sigma males aren't addicted to attention. In fact, they could go their whole lives without being in the center of a crowd and still be completely content. But here's the thing, when they do step into the light, they don't just participate, they command it. While others chase likes, followers, and the next viral moment, Sigmas see all that as noise. Their influence doesn't come from how often they appear on stage, it comes from how they move when they choose to. They don't seek validation, they don't need a stage to feel important. But when the time is right, they'll step into the spotlight with the kind of quiet authority that makes everyone pay attention. What sets them apart is their timing. It's not about showing up everywhere or being in every conversation. It's about stepping in when their presence can make the most impact and then retreating when they've done what was needed. They're like a sharp, precise tool, there when it counts, gone when it doesn't. They're not lingering for applause, and they're not sticking around to bask in praise. Once they've dropped their contribution, they disappear, almost like they were never there. That's because for a Sigma, influence isn't about being seen. It's about leaving a mark, then quietly slipping away before anyone can even fully process what just happened. And that's where the true power lies. People might not remember every moment they spent in the spotlight, but they'll remember the impact they felt when the Sigma stepped in, the way they felt moved, challenged, or inspired, not because the Sigma forced it, but because he knew exactly how and when to make his presence known. If you're tired of chasing attention and just want to leave a real, lasting influence, this is your blueprint. Learn the art of impact over attention, and you'll become someone who doesn't need to be seen to be unforgettable. In final words, the Sigma way. Living as a Sigma male isn't about following a set of rules or trying to fit into some mold. It's about creating a life that's defined on your own terms, untouched by the expectations and noise of the world around you. It's about carving out your own path, no matter how unconventional, and embracing the freedom that comes with it. The Sigma male lifestyle isn't for everyone. It's not about popularity or fitting in. It's about clarity, purpose, and personal power. Sigmas don't care to impress others because they're too focused on executing their vision. They thrive in solitude. But that doesn't mean they're isolated. They just know that the quiet spaces are where they get stronger, clearer, and more capable. If you're feeling trapped by other people's standards or burned out by trying to live up to the world's expectations, maybe it's time to take a step back. Challenge yourself to live with intention, to move away from the noise, and to build something that's yours and yours alone. The Sigma male doesn't seek applause. He builds in silence, executes with precision, and lets his results speak for themselves. And while it's not an easy path, it's a powerful one. If you can embrace the freedom of being your own person, you'll unlock a level of strength, resilience, and peace that most will never experience. So whether you're already on the Sigma path or still figuring it out, remember this. The world doesn't need more followers. It needs more individuals who know what they want, how to get it, and aren't afraid to walk a different road. Live with purpose, build with intention, and above all, be true to who you are. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.